I guess this is a pretty good time to record a video now because pretty much all mechanical work is almost done. I wanted to start with the BMW logo because, well, we have this 6-speed monster here. And then there is a custom drive shaft. I'll get to the PPF and everything in a sec. And this drive shaft goes all the way. This nifty little thing really helped me a lot because I was able to hang the diff and find the correct angle using this little guy and just lock it in place. So that pretty much gave me a starting point, and it just made life so much easier, really. Then I was able to get all the angles correct, including the engine and the gearbox. Miata has a spec that you measure from the frame rails. I'm gonna kind of sort of do the same thing, but you know, it'll be just for this car. Axles are done. I'm pretty proud of that. I still have a lot of things to do, like cleaning the subframe, sandblasting, and just powder coating it, but we're getting there. This side is BMW, obviously, and this side accepts Mazda Miata. Same on here. The thing is, this axle here is about 50 millimeters shorter than this guy over here because I had to leave this room here for the exhaust. It would be just damn near impossible otherwise, but seems to be working out. 3.15 to 1 ratio. It works out beautifully with the BMW gearbox. And let's come over here. I had to do a lot of beefing up to get this PPF to work with the M5, E34 M5 diff here. But in the end, everything pretty much worked out just right. I made these enormous plugs to locate the PPF in place. And then, same here. The only basic difference is Mazda uses 3 plugs. I went for 4 just for good measure. I don't know if the light is good enough, but you can see how this main support unit is secured to the diff here, and then it's also supported by this long extension on the existing holes. I had to do quite a bit of cutting here and then just get creative and everything, but it just worked out beautifully in the end. There's also a third very, very strong point. There's a sleeve in here in this M12 bolt, and there's a gap in between, and that gap sits nicely, very, very tightly on what you would see on the other side, on this protrusion here. This is a seriously strong mounting point BMW is using, so I just used that on the other side. The custom drive shaft came out just beautifully, and I didn't need any kind of an adapter really to attach it to the gearbox. It's a 3-bolt job on this side. One good thing, I'll get to the PPF bit on the front in a minute. One good thing, the U-joints are replaceable. That really, makes life easier. I know the downpipe is really crooked on this one because this is the existing downpipe from the previous setup. It'll have to be cut somewhere up there, like up there, and there's going to be another flex joint, and then it'll run parallel to the gearbox and come straight through here, exit with a small silencer, and there's going to be obviously some kind of a resonator here and a test pipe with flanges about, let me see, about this long. So I'm not worried about the exhaust bit. Let's just talk about the front attachment on the PPF real quick. Bear with me, I'm just taking a deep dive underneath the lift. Here we go. This basically is a 5mm box, laser cut and welded, laser cut and bent. And then, since it would be damn near impossible to get this shape just by laser cutting and bending, I added these reinforcements, which are welded here and then carried over to the bell housing bolts. That way I thought whatever loads I'm generating here would be transmitted here to these bolts. And when you weld the two supports here, instead of this shear action, you get one torque arm that's trying to do this, spreading all the load to these two bolts and then to these two M12 bell housing bolts. So I'm fairly confident I'm not going to break this thing in pieces while I'm driving. But I mean, it does the job, and it's fairly strong. These holes are oval, obviously. I had to drill new holes, and I had to shorten the PPF just by not much, really. Like, this used to be the second hole, now it's the first hole. That should give you an idea. And same thing holds true for the rear as well. But it's in place. I do realize I have finished installing the PPF without the body in place, but I'm fairly confident, I'm 100% confident it's not going to have any issues, because I took all my measurements and then I plotted everything down and I followed my original PPF traces to locate this in space. So this is sitting in its original intended position in space, I mean XYZ. So it shouldn't create any problems when the body comes on the car. Nothing is torqued, obviously. Everything is just in place, just for checking purposes. Nothing is cleaned so far, because that would be a waste of time. So at this point, what I'm going to have to do is take everything apart, including this guy, whatever we fabbed. And when I say we, a couple of friends are helping me, designers, you know, laser cut, this, that, great people. Anyway, whatever we fabbed will come out of the car, including the subframe. They'll be blasted, whatever the hell I can find, metal grit, sandblasting, soda blasting, whatever. Looks like it'll be metal grit. And then powder coated, obviously, for longevity. It'll be spick and span, nice and clean. It'll look beautiful. But I'm really happy. I did another thing. Hang on, bear with me. I'm just going to walk all the way around the shop real quick just to get to the turbos. This is the little guy. This here is the little guy. And underneath that, right over here, is the big guy. What I did is I embiggened it, made it much bigger, so that, well, I had downsized it for fear of breaking all the drivetrain components, you know, the Mazda gearbox, but now it's going to deliver some serious boost, serious torque. I have about a bar at about maybe 1200 RPM. I'm also starting to lay the groundwork for the oil cooler. I'm using AN10 fittings over here, obviously, and it'll have braided Teflon hoses, nicely supported, insulated, just coming over here. Contrary to popular wisdom, I'm gonna, I think, end up installing it just in front of, off to the side of the radiator. We'll see, space permitting. I am going to do that because I generally don't have overheating issues in the car. One time I saw 126 centigrade degrees on my oil temps on a Formula One track after like 8 or 9, maybe close to 10 consecutive hot laps. And Well, I mean, I was really pushing the car then, but I'm doing it just in case, so that, you know, I'm not gonna have any kind of a problems whatsoever with oil temps. Cooling vents on the hood and everything, they're doing a great job. I mean, I have really no overheating issues, period. So I'm happy, I'm really excited, and that's pretty much where I am right now. So it'll be updated as things progress.